Disney's box office losses have seemingly skyrocketed over $1 billion for the last 12 months alone, with failures like Elemental, The Little Mermaid, and now Dial of Destiny. But while they've tried to damage control, it appears that this is their harsh new reality, and it doesn't look like things are going to get better for them anytime soon. I have a few different things that I want to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or supporter via YouTube memberships. Now, this is a Variety article that I am going to be referencing. It is an archive. It says Disney's harsh new reality, costly film flops, creative struggles, and a shrinking global box office. For the past decade, Disney has been the Teflon movie studio, remarkably adept at withstanding the tectonic changes impacting the film industry, as well as fortified by its arsenal of key properties such as Marvel, Lucasfilm, and Pixar. They do have a lot under their belt. They do have a lot shoved in a vault that they can use at any point in time, but unfortunately the people that they're hiring don't understand what consumers want, and they are allowing these people to write projects like Dial of Destiny that is, at like a 6 out of 10 film, movies like Elemental that have really no grasp at any specific audience, but it says this year the long reigning titan of the box office has shown cracks as 4 of its biggest releases from those brands and others have struggled in theaters. There was the dispiriting release of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, a rare Marvel movie to likely lose tens of millions in its theatrical run, The Little Mermaid, a remake of the '89 animated classic that fell drastically short of expectations, Elemental, an original story that tried and failed to recapture Pixar's magic, and most recently Dial of Destiny, a nearly $300 million investment in one of its cinema's most venerable franchises, which no longer appears to have the same hold on today's audiences. On paper, these films seem like they had all of the makings of huge hits, but somehow the Disney sparkle was lacking this time in terms of filling movie theater seats. Now, it's really no surprise to see why. I mean, if you look at something like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, while it was not a, awful movie, at the same time it did disappoint Marvel fans because it was at the beginning of the newest phase. People are really not feeling confident or excited about this phase at all. You look at something like The Little Mermaid, it was surrounded in controversy because of all of the changes they made from the '89 animated that people love, and people do not want those departures. If you're going to remake something in a live action form, we want it to be almost a one-to-one remake, and they failed at that. Elemental was an original story that just was filled with narratives, and it really didn't have a one specific audience it grasped because it tried to appeal to younger children, but also it tried to appeal to adults, and it didn't really work for either. And then Dial of Destiny, while people do love Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones, leading up to release, we knew that this movie was probably going to have some issues story-wise. People like Phoebe Waller-Bridge being part of this project really turned a lot of people off. The trailers did not get people excited for this movie, and it really wasn't any better than Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Barring a miracle, though, or a sudden surge of interests in all of these things, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 looks like it'll be the studio's biggest earner of the year with $835 million. It's the first time since 2014 that Disney won't have a movie that reaches $1 billion. It also marks a shift from 2022, which saw the studio release not only hits like Black Panther: Wakanda Forever and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, but also Avatar: The Way of Water, the third highest grossing film in history. So it's not like they are not making money, but they are also losing billions of dollars on these projects. I mean, they are still not doing good. They need movies to be making a boatload of money, and most of them aren't. I mean, even look at Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. We only just recently found out in the last 2 weeks that the budget was $100 million over what we were originally being told. We were originally being told it was around $250 million, and now it's coming out that it was $100 million more, which is insane. Even if that's the case, Disney still far outranks the competition in terms of market share in 2023, commanding 37% of the industry's revenues. Now, I'm not trying to sit here and say that, Disney is fading away, Disney is dying, and Disney is going to, cease to exist in a few years. I'm not trying to say that because it's not that bad for them, but at the same time, they're releasing movies with $300 million budgets. They don't need to just make $300 million on those. They need to make, at least double, so it would be $600 million, and usually they expect more on top of that. So a $300 million movie would mean they probably want like 800 to 900 million out of it. Ultimately, they want $1 billion out of every single movie, but they do know that that is not going to happen. But there are a lot of films lately that they have expected to hit that $1 billion mark, and they haven't even gotten close. It doesn't look like Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny is going to get to $1 billion. There are things like Elemental, which there's no way it's going to get close to that. And Little Mermaid, again, they wanted $1 billion. It right now is like at 650 million worldwide. And let's be honest, it's going to be out of theaters really soon because it's been out for at least a month at this point. I've had to talk a lot about Disney on the channel over the past few years, and it is sad to see them go in such a bad direction, right? Because I love Indiana Jones. I wanted Dial of Destiny to be a great movie. Unfortunately, it wasn't. I used to absolutely love the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and unfortunately, they have hired writers and creatives that really just aren't creating the content that I and many other people want to see. And I do think that a lot of the narratives that they are shoving into their movies are finally catching up with moviegoers. I also do think that it is, partially that people don't want to go to theaters. I mean, we live our lives now, and our lives are filled with convenience. People don't want to go to a movie theater to pay $15 to $20 in movie tickets, sit there for 2 hours, have to buy $20 worth of snacks because they're overpriced because theaters are trying to compensate for the fact that they're losing money. All of these different things are slowly but surely adding up, and I do think that there are multiple reasons why, films in general are not doing as good at the box office anymore, but a major reason are the narratives and the actual content that they're pushing onto consumers. I would love for Disney to turn it around and to take some of these beloved franchises that they have and make good content with them, but I just don't see that happening anytime soon, and they are really facing issues at the box office. Again, this is their harsh new reality. Costly film flops, creative struggles, and a shrinking global box office. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.